Okay, here we go. Go like this, bam, bam. All right. Nice little. What kind of sentence is that? Come on. A nice little stretching. All right, there we go. It's time for the next recording and editing stream. Words. I got a plan. Plan is simple. Make a comprehensive new player guide for Showdown specifically. All the other game modes, I mean, there's not much to comprehend about them. I mean, you either get it or you don't, and honestly, that might be a bit of a brainworm issue if you can't comprehend these. But Showdown, it's a bit of a mixed bag of what the fuck's going on here. That's exactly what I'm gonna be doing. So let me pop over to here. Makes more sense. No, I should put this in anyway. Wait, don't I even have the sub count? Yeah, it's visible. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna start off with the intro. Something like right here, right? I was gonna make the thumbnail first to try to find something, but thought about it. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. It's 4.0. Okay. Yeah, let's start off with the intro. Let's see. Gonna have to pause this. And here we go. Game audio active. Yeah, I'll just add background music, I guess. Maybe. Depends on how long it goes. Alright. See, for an intro. No. For an intro, I think what I'll do is mention the basics. Or mention that I'm not gonna be going into advanced stuff. Leaderboard climbing. If you needed me to help you climb the leaderboard, you probably don't need to be watching this video. There's more hyper specific stuff that exists out there, might be outdated, but I'm not gonna touch on that. I'm not gonna touch on that in this video. And this guide is gonna be more like, yeah, that's what I'll say. Something like that. Okay. Let me start the recording. I think that might be the one. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. Okay. Pause music. See. I gotta feel out how I'm gonna record this intro. Gotta really feel it out. Gotta feel it. That's what I'm gonna feel it. Okay. Alright, how's it going? Already, buns. I mean, I said, alright, how's it going? Fuck out of here. Delete that. Okay. Here we go. This is one. Here you are, wondering how Showdown works. It's confusing. Makes no sense. All the other game modes don't confuse you as much as this one does. It's fine. I got you. This is going to be a general overview of Showdown, specifically, well, not too specifically, but mostly Season 4.0, which shows here. Season 4.0 Rim Flame. It's because they might change stuff up in the future, so if you're watching this a year from now or something, don't take everything I say with a absolute certainty, because some things might be changed. Like I remember, if I look back into it, in Season 2.0 and 1.0 are totally different from this version. So take that in mind. If you're watching this in the future, this is not, it might not be as viable. I don't know what they might change a year from now. I'm literally just at the beginning of 2026, so leave me alone, future dwellers. Anyway, back to the actual guide. I'm going to be covering all the basics, how to not get overwhelmed, how to actually progress when you first start, because that is really confusing. It leaves people spiraling, wondering, what am I supposed to do? Where do I go? How do I get stronger? I'll cover all that, right? And starting off, before I get anywhere else, the first place you go before you do anything else is going to be your heroes. You're going to go to preparations, not heroes specifically, preparation. because this shows you what characters are available. Now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a true fact no matter what, how far the game progresses in the future. This is always going to be true. When you're starting off, go to preparation, pick a character you actually want to play. If they're not unlocked, go unlock them, play the game a little bit, blah, 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 blah. I'm not, that's obvious. Go unlock the character. And that's the character you're going to main. Obviously, I only got, I guess, 3 characters that I actually, or not 3, 4 characters I actually really play. I'm trying to work on this guy because he seems interesting, but hey, it is what it is. But that's the sort of thing you're going to do. Pick your character and level them up. Play with them, main that character. Another way you can level up is through alchemic, what's the stuff called? I'll show you. This stuff right here. Alchemized souls. You can use these to quickly level up a character, but you have to make some progress first. There's ways to get it sooner. When you first start, you're gonna have something here. Gonna be something called main quest. This is gonna be your main stuff that you do. I don't have it anymore. I cleared that, but you're gonna run through that. That's gonna help you guide yourself through everything you need to do to get a start, to get some resources, get a little bit of this and that, and get you started on some soul jades that you probably otherwise wouldn't get if you ignore it. So don't ignore a main quest. Do that immediately after you pick your character. And if you're not sure who you want to use, you don't really know, I want to touch on this character, you're going to go straight to training. It is literally right there. I just showed you, right? I'm not going to go in there and show you every character. This is a general guide. If you want to see what every character does specific to this game mode, because there's differences from the regular game modes. There just is. Trust me. Okay, if you want to know all that, go in there yourself and practice. There's no better way to learn that than actually do it yourself, because even if someone made a video on it, you might not catch all the facts or all the different animations if you didn't do it yourself and feel it. Some of this stuff really does matter, right? And next, I'm going to get into, I'm going to cut away because this is already long enough clip, but I'm going to get into soul jades and why you shouldn't be overwhelmed by them. They're not that bad, I promise. All right. Haven't seen the absolute banger that is Crazy Bus? I have not. I don't even know what that is. Sorry, I couldn't respond immediately. I was recording the clip. So, yeah, you know how that goes. But how you doing, Max? How you doing? Oh, you mean you're talking about the song? You talking about the song you sent me? I forgot to listen to it, actually. I've been doing a bunch of other stuff. I'll just listen to it right now real quick. I mean, no big deal. Hold on. Grab my, just open up a browser real quick. And you said it's called Crazy Buzz. Title screen. Crazy Buzz. I'll give it a listen real quick. Just get it out the way. Huh. That's a crazy song, bro. Okay. That is my final verdict on that. Crazy Bus is a crazy song. All right, now let me think about what I'm gonna do next for the motherfucking soul jades, because I don't want this to get too specific. I want this to be very simple. Let's see. I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna focus on mentioning the certain facts about the elements. I think I'm gonna talk about how you pick your preparation. Well, no, actually, I won't go into that first. I'll go into soul jades first because that's easier to comprehend if I'm just basic. If I keep it basic. Okay, yeah, that's what I'll do. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yep. Okay. Gotta organize my thoughts here. Let's see. Let me pause music. Oh, let me entitle that clip that I just did. How long is it? 3 minutes, 47 seconds. Not bad. Okay. Let me title this real quick. Game intro. Okay. All right, now let me start here and let's get going. Let's do this shit. Let me make sure this is here. So, that's already a bad clip. I mean, I started with so and open air. Delete that shit. Damn it. You can't make this shit up. Okay, I got this. Getting right into it. Fuck, already. I mean, there's no point of the intro if I say shit like getting right into it. Delete that. Oh man, the first word is so valuable, man. Because I don't want to sound. I don't want to. I mean, nobody else cares except for me. But that's the thing. Just because nobody else cares doesn't mean I'm gonna just not care. I give a shit. I got the first word means a lot. Let's see. Soul J jump scare. I know. Crazy, right? You didn't expect to see this immediately. But don't worry, it's not that bad. See, this looks like a whole lot of things you gotta learn and read and yada yada yada. No. When you first start off, you're gonna have nothing but a couple of these. You know, not a couple, you have a lot of those, which is good. You convert those and use those resources, blah, 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 blah. Nothing crazy, right? Just think of this as filler until you actually get better soul jades. Don't even bother reading these. Just know, okay, they give you melee, attack, health, or, you know, they give you what they say they do on the title. That's as simple as that gets. It's as simple as that. Words. You get what I'm trying to say. Leave me alone, right? And then next, you're gonna have a couple of purples. You're gonna get them there and here and there when you're first starting. You'll get, you know, a handful, and you'll get another handful. Make sure you just read through it lightly. You know, nothing crazy. You know, because they're not hard to comprehend, right? It's very simple. Like, for example, let's take a look at Focus Slide. Regardless of the element is just what your buildup is, and the more you have of that, the more damage your element does for you, and it depends on how quickly, it determines how quickly that element builds up. That's besides the point. I'll get into that later. It's not crazy. There's no rocket science, but this is as simple as able to attack during slide. That's it. That's build movement augmentation. Nothing crazy, right? And then you have something that's slightly a bit more different. While above the HP, 50% HP, hit damage, blah, blah, blah. You see that here, right? Now, that just gets into more of the comprehension of what do the ice things, you know, the ice wielding, the poison wielding, and thunder wielding. What's that about? They're just synergistic build directions. That's how you got to look at it. It's not crazy. It's not rocket science. Relax. You got to keep your head cool when you're looking at this, right? And I have a lot of duplicates. I've been playing a long time. I really have to clean this up and probably consume a lot of these for the resources or whatever, blah, 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 right? But, you know, don't be like me. Don't let it build up and just get gross, because this is worth a lot of resources you could have going towards other things. I'm just, I'm a silly little guy. I'm a silly little guy. Sometimes. All right. And then moving on, when you start to play a bit more, you'll probably start coming across more impactful soul jades like these, the legendary ones. Yeah, they start doing things that you really do gotta have to read. You have to read these, because otherwise you just be dragging and dropping. Oh, what does that do? Oh, Icefall, sure. And you know, yeah, you get it. Don't do that. Don't drag and drop. That's a terrible way to go about this. You know, it's just not helpful. So what you do is, instead of overwhelming yourself, because you're going to slowly accumulate plenty of these when you first start getting them, you just have to read once, you know, take it in, think about it. You know, in this case, let's take Bolt Rod, for example. It calls down a bolt at your previous location after dodging. I mean, it's that simple. And then it tells you things like it's incompatible with Icefall, Draco Stride, blah, blah, blah. It tells you these things. Don't even worry about that, because realistically, the only thing that matters is the fact that you dodge, it calls down a bolt. It's strike. Bolt, strike, blah, blah, blah. Now, what is bolt? I just want to put that out there. Bolt is inherently a default strike aura thing. It's like, think of it like a basic energy. It doesn't have an element tied to it. The element that it will help build up will depend on whatever the element on the weapon, or not the weapon, the soul jade is. As you can see, I have multiple bolt rods and they all have different elements. So in this case, that would help accumulate poison. Now, it's not going to be poisonous. It's not going to make it a poisonous bolt or a thunderbolt or a ice bolt. It's just a bolt. And just like with every other hit, the more of these accumulations you have, the more buildup you have towards that specific element. And then that creates a burst, and you get poison procs, fire procs, ice procs, nothing crazy, right? And then moving forward, once you start really comprehending them and getting more of these, you can start to put together comprehensive builds. Just like I said, take your time, read them slow. Don't overwhelm yourself and try to just read everything and study up and look up every resource guide and what does this do? What's the best build? Do not try to be a meta player when you have no idea what you're doing. The meta players have been playing this mode since it came out years ago. Since the game came out years ago, they're gonna have a distinct advantage over you. You will not be able to compete with them. It's an overtime thing. So relax. Don't try to be a leaderboard climber just because, you did it in other games. Showdown is a bit different. It expects you to put some time in, expects you to grind and really max these out. And like, even for me, for example, I really only have one really overpowered soul jade that I put time into and that a lot more resources into. In this case, my gas bloom. It has some extra shit like moderation. Now, I'll tell you straight up, that just gives you a 25% cooldown for your abilities when you trigger an elemental burst. Nothing crazy, but also you got to know how to build to make it work for you. It's not that hard. Once you get past that step, you can put together anything. But that's where the comprehension of soul jades are important. Just comprehend what they are, and it's not that confusing. The problem a lot of people have is they don't read the shit. And even when they do, they don't take it in. Their brain doesn't analyze it. So don't be that person. Read it. Try it maybe. I mean, you can even go in training mode and specifically equip any of these that you have. And, I'm not going to show you how to do that. Just navigate through the training mode menu. You can figure it. I believe in you. I believe in your brain power. Oh, it's a those guy. You're supposed to show me everything. No, I'm not. Use your brain sometimes. I believe that you can use it. That's why you're here, right? So you can figure out the extra stuff. So don't worry about that. All right, now you got masteries. You won't be able to use these until you get whatever character you're using to level 20. It's very important you focus on that. Level 20, you get there, then you can use masteries. In this case, I have multiple level 20 characters, and I have multiple masteries that I've picked up. They're not complicated either. These are actually probably the more simple things in the game by default. You can only equip masteries that work for your character based on what weapons they have. In this case, let's take Matari, for example. She has dagger, she has pistol. Simple. So I can only put on pistol mastery soul jades and dagger mastery soul jades. That's it. And read what they say. Same thing with everything else. Read what they say, comprehend it, try it out in training mode if you want to, or try it out in a real level if you want to. Who cares? It doesn't actually matter. Just go do what you got to do. And, there you go. Problem solved. That's that. That is as far as you really need to go with soul jades, because at some point, getting lost in that sauce is dangerous. The only other factor that really would matter would be enhancing, but this has been significantly simplified compared to older guide videos you might be able to find on Showdown upgrading and stuff like that. Like, the system is simple. It's basic now. It used to be way more complicated. I only know because I looked into it. I had no idea it was way more complicated back then, but you just pick a thing. Like in case of recasting, you pick a thing you want to recast. You have the resources at hand. In this case, I don't, because I've been recasting a lot. And you swap it out. You change the attribute. If you want to change the value, which in this case is improving what it's worth, then you do that. You use your resources, click recast value, and you can upgrade it. Obviously, it's chance based. But, you get the resources, you upgrade it, you max that out, blah, 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 blah. Don't look at this as an example, by the way. This is a terrible soul jade in terms of these two stats are awful. This is the only one that actually matters for the build, but I'm lazy and I have a lot of soul jades for a lot of different characters to work towards, and it's very resource intensive. Just focus on one main at a time. Don't be like me and have 5 different characters you want to play unless you just don't care, in which case go crazy. All right, now that's enough of that. I'm going to move on to the next thing now. I've grown a condensed brick inside my spine. You should probably straighten out your posture or something then, if that's how you feel. That's just how I feel. All right, let me name that clips. Clip, there we go. All right, and boom. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and record stuff like curios. Here we go. Here we go. Next part. All right, so curios, nothing crazy. They're actually very simple. Get off my screen. There, very, very simple. You got your curios, how you get them, I'll go over that in a moment. But let's talk about what they do. They just give you, the thing about soul jades, they're literally just soul jades, but like a whole different slot, a bit more potent and present than most soul jades. Some soul jades will be very, you know, very known. Once you put it on, you'll see things happen. It's like, yep, yeah, I've seen the difference. But blah blah blah. Don't worry about that. Talisman, for example, you got Dominator Talisman. This helps benefit a very particular type of build, and then there's things that go along with that, like Verve Banner. Now, don't worry about how to acquire certain soul jades. 9 times out of 10, you either just won't be able to get them because they're from older seasons, or they're from older seasons. Or they're not words. I would re-record that, but honestly, fuck you. This is all natural. All right, so basically, don't worry about trying to get older season soul jades if you can't, because 9 times out of 10, they're not even active. For example, let's take a look at these. You can see older soul jades from older seasons when it comes to crafting, which I'll go over how to get those resources. It changes every season. They set up a new way to get the resource for crafting soul jades. Not soul jades, curios. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This is the curio section of the video. But yeah, so these, for example, you can never get these. You can never use these unless you already crafted them in a previous season enough to get them to level 1. Then you can directly craft these. But otherwise, they're useless. They're disabled and they don't count. And the reason that is because the new season expects you to use the new stuff. In this case, it's going to be 4.0, so you're expected to use 4.0 stuff. Now, obviously, this benefits people who were around in prior seasons. I'm not one of those people. I was here just before 3.0 ended when I came back to the game, so like I got lucky being able to have this at any sort of percentage because I didn't know what I was doing either. I was just pressing buttons and then, yeah, convenient, right? But yeah, so regarding older curios, don't worry about those. But when it comes to regular curios, you can craft these. You can't directly craft them at first, like I can right now, except for this one, because I haven't crafted it enough randomly. So that's what you start off with. You have your resources, you press craft. Obviously, I don't have any, so it's going to make me try to go get some, but you get it, right? You craft it, boom. And you have a chance to get purple, which is, in this case, epic, a legendary. And there are these extremes. They are way stronger than everything else. And they also have the chance to upgrade into something beyond, but to do that, you have to get this awaken resource. So honestly, don't worry about that for too much. It's a pain in the ass. And if you're not strong enough to go about getting the resources to get this, which I'm not right now, somehow, crazy, right? Then honestly, you might as well just stick to your whatever you have over here, because you're not going to see that much of a difference in comparison. I mean, yeah, you will see a big difference, but you know, you get what I'm saying. If you can't awaken it, it might as well be just as good as a legendary. For the most part, depends on exactly what it is. But yeah, that's going to be that, and then you have character specific plumes, or not plumes, but curios. For example, this belongs to Matari. and only Matari. I can try to put it on Faria. She can't use it. See this? These mean this is character specific. You can't use that on this character in this case. So those exist, and it does suck that the main you might pick might not have its own custom curio. That's fine. There's still general builds. For example, let's take Justina for a look. See here, and you can see that I don't have any hyper specific yangs or yins, just curios in general. It doesn't matter. I can't use any of these there, but I can still put together a strong, effective build with this season's stuff. Just do what you got to do, craft. And as far as crafting specific tiers, it's random, by the way. There's no way to force it. There's no, oh, if you do this, you get guaranteed legendary. No. Now, there is a way to get guaranteed legendaries, since we're still on the topic of curios. You can go to Temperate Inferno. I wouldn't suggest doing this until you're at least like level 60, maybe 70, and you're confident in your ability to slay just about every boss in the game that exists right now. If you can't confidently say you can beat most of the bosses, you know their movesets, you're probably going to get rocked by this game mode. You're going to get floored, and then the enemies are going to overwhelm you, yada, yada, yada. It's one of those things that it's a test of skill, but it rewards you with legendary soul jades if you win. But also you get guaranteed chaos stones, which is currently the only direct way to obtain curio crafting resources. Oh, sorry. You gotta click the bind craft, not equip curio. So yeah, these, which is used to make these. Or if you have something leveled up, directly these. That's important. Now, the only other fact about curios is that some of them will make your character feel directly stronger. Others will be a more minor effect. I'm not going to go into the details of that. You can read. I already talked about this. Use your brain. I believe in you. Think. I'm not going to do that for you. That's illegal. But yeah, so for example, just a direct example. Verve Banner is really fucking strong. But also, it does the job of like multiple different curios, if that makes any sense. It's just super utilitarian, super powerful, right? And then you'll have something more niche like Nectar Goblet. It's not that strong, but it's clutch. You see, there's just different things for different purposes. I used to crutch off of this for a little bit because every now and then I would die at points where I need to live, and this would come in clutch. Obviously you get a free revive every 60 seconds, right? Nothing crazy, but also that's kind of crazy, right? It's nutty. So it really depends on your skill level, your playstyle, where you're at, what you're fighting. If you're feeling like, okay, I'm really bad at this boss fight, maybe you put something like this on and give yourself another chance, play it safe, right? Or if you're feeling confident and powerful, you feel like, man, I just need more damage. I just need to do this a bit faster. You put on something like Verve Banner or Dominator Talisman or Radiance Flow. These are the things that are going to change your gameplay for the better or the worse, depending on if you pick the wrong one for the wrong situation or the wrong, I'm not confident against this boss fight, but I put on Verve Banner and Wordless Sutra. These are things that are for aggro, damage, power. These are just examples. I'm not going to go into hyper detail, but you get what I'm saying. You probably read them. Maybe you paused. If you didn't, I don't care. You don't care. We don't care. Now that's going to be it for curios. Moving on to the last stage of preparation. And this is going to be probably the most important. Go. Okay. If you're looking at a video while I'm being blindfolded, are you still watching the video? Yeah, you can listen to the video and you can try to comprehend what it is. Moving on. Let me go name that clip. This is gonna be a long ass video. It's gonna take a while to render, but honestly, it's necessary. Normally, I don't like rambling on this much when I'm making these sorts of videos, but this is exclusively a guide video. So like, I kind of just gotta bite my tongue. No, not bite my tongue and just yap. I gotta yap about these things because otherwise it's not a guide video. Curios. All right, now next portion. Next up, we got. Why did I say it like that? Of course, it's next up. I literally directed that I'm gonna go there next. Before I ended the whatchamacallit. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Go. Here we go. So now we're going into Soul Jades. Sorry. Restart the clip. Way too early to say some dumb shit. I'm going into potential plan. Why do I keep saying the wrong thing? Blah. Okay. All right. Now moving into potentials. There's nothing crazy, nutty, complicated about them. Of all the things so far, this is probably going to be the most simplest thing because you really do have to go at a slow pace with this sort of thing. You're not just going to have a bunch of skill points to use right away. In fact, you might only have, I think you start with 3? I don't remember what you start with. Or maybe you start with 0. I have no idea. You're going to have to... That new player thing, it's I forget, small numbers. Anyway, you start with not enough to really do anything at all. And you're probably wondering, what do these trees do? What is all this? So let's start with the basics. Start with the most core aspect of this. This part here, this wheel, you're going to come down here, click this. And this is going to determine what direction you want to take your build because these are going to change everything here like the element basis. For example, my Zai is a thunder-based character in terms of her damage and how I exploit that, right? So in this case, I have it set to thunder. So these are augmented towards divine thunder. For example, if I change this to ice, that now says ice blast. Even so, that's gonna impact what soul jades you might want to put on. Obviously, you could change this whenever you want. You can completely respec this however many times you want for free. There's no resource cost. You can mix and mash, change everything around all day. So it's really solid, right? And so first and foremost, let's get into the nitty gritty. What probably catches your eye the most is these. What the fuck are they? Put it simply, this tree is for lotus-based builds. If you don't know what a lotus is, don't worry about it. Don't go into this tree until you have some soul jade that gives you lotuses. Like I said, this is a general guide video. This is not hyper specific, so I'm not going to show you all that. Once you get all that stuff, when you grind far enough and have your understanding of things, your own understanding of things, you will see it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, this is the lotus stuff. And that's when you want to try to go into this tree. Once you have a way to put together a decent enough lotus build, then this stuff matters. And here you have the burn and soak hydro flame build. Now, this isn't going to be the most disgusting or overpowered build in most cases. Some characters are very good with this, some characters aren't. It depends on the character you're using. You can tell which characters might be more lenient towards certain things. Like if a character has fire abilities, like as in their base kit, they might be more lenient. They might They might be more heavy towards a fire build. In this case, you want to go down that tree, this whole tree. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean that character's stuck using that sort of build. You can build any kind of way for any character. Just make sure the character, you understand that character's in the way you might want to build them, because that matters. It really does. Certain things the character's really efficient at with their build and their basic moveset might determine what you want to go towards, because okay, for example, Zai is really good at diffusing. I think she's currently like the best diffuse character in the game right now. Now, I'm not playing off a meta chart or anything. I just like the character, mainly because yeah, anyway, she has really good personality. But yeah, so it's just one of those things where you realize what they're good at and you set up things accordingly. Your soul jades, I already told you about that. You set up your soul jades first and you build into a tree based on your soul jades, based on what you think you want to do. And because I mentioned this last out of all the preparation stuff, because you would think I would do this first, but no, it actually is something you do after the fact, because you can always come here and reset it whenever you want. So you're free to try things based on the build you actually want to do, even if it doesn't suit the character very well, because it is a PvE game mode. Do not worry about being meta. Do not worry about trying to beat the game as fast as possible. That is not what you're focused on as a, starting off. You just want to get yourself, your feet planted. You want to get off the ground. You want to make shit work. Okay? So now moving on to, I'm not going to even look over these. If you have the game, you play the game, you can read them yourself. That's the most important thing is, I want to emphasize, read this shit yourself. There's no effective guide out there that's going to help break all this stuff down. Break it down yourself, experience it, test it. You're free to just mix and mash and try stuff whenever you feel like it. So just do what you can, do what you must, right? Please read. I beg you. I'm begging you. Read, damn it. Now, obviously, we're going to move on to these parts. They're confusing. They're probably the most confusing in all of this because what the fuck is this? These determine what your main focus is. In this case, Zai is a very diffuse heavy character. So I'm going to be using, or in this case, I do use the diffuse subsection. Now you just dial these to wherever your main portion of your build is so they can get the most benefit. In this case, if I was a character that countered a lot more and had more counter benefits in their base kit, I would use this. It really depends. Or Deadeye for shooting. Deadeye is literally just a meter you build up by shooting things. And if you like using range, that's your ticket. And Data 1, right? So in this case, diffuse. And it's that simple. And the more and with this one, to unlock these, the more points you put in, as you can see here by these numbers, you get benefits. And depending on what they are, you get different ones. They're not all the same. Trust me, they're not the same. It's different. It's a difference. It's a difference. So once again, read. All right, moving on to the next section. Grinding and how to do it properly. When you first start out, of course. Because after you get to a certain point, it's freelance. It's just go wherever you want. All right, let's get into that. All right, perfect. I feel like that was pretty solid. Sure. That's what I'm going to call that clip. There we go. And someone's at the door. I'll be right back. Someone's at my door. All right, back. Okay, let's record the next section. I got the curios, I got the potential, character, blah, 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 blah. Right. God, I'm gonna glaze over some things with this, so it's fine if I glaze over stuff because it's a general guide. I don't need to be hyper specific about everything. Okay. And next, let's see, what am I gonna do? Guess I'll go into Morris. Yeah, go into Morris. Alright, next we're gonna go into the basic progression and things you should be looking at off rip when you first start. You're gonna be, obviously, you can follow the main quest like I said before. You're gonna be going to Morris Isle. And when you first do them, you get through all these and you do all that, yada, 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 right? Nothing crazy. But you probably might notice you don't really get much from completing these. It's kind of the point. They want you to transition into hard difficulty as soon as possible. And if you feel confident handling that, go into it. Now, a word of warning, the bosses you fight on normal, which is every one of these, and these every third stage, just about, you get a boss fight, right? They're not going to be the same when you go to hard, not at all. And by that I mean the stats are going to be different. You'll probably feel it immediately. Enemies just are stronger, so you're expected to understand what you're doing a little bit more. But by the time you complete normal, if you paid attention to things, it shouldn't be that complicated. It's just a shift in player responsibility and how much you're expected to, go about building a little bit, right? It's not that much of a difference. But the bosses, they're gonna have a second phase compared to the normal stages where they don't have it. They will have their proper second phase, and that means you beat the first phase, they get full health, they get a second phase. So it will expect you to, be ready for that. And it could be a jump scare if you don't know. So now you know. And once you push through these, you'll want to start touching on Night Scream levels. Simply because they actually give you real drops. As you can see here. Unlike hard where you just got these, you got some purples, yada yada, nothing crazy. You actually start getting build specific, impactful things that can help a build be more of a build. And it's important that you run through these and actually get them too. Don't neglect these levels. Don't pretend like they don't exist. Please do them. You actually, it's beneficial for you to even just do the level, not even just farm it. You might not want to farm it. You don't have to. Trust me, you don't have to farm it. But beat these levels. Clear them out, whether with a friend or by yourself. When you do trios, by the way, it does give you trio scaling. So even if you play with only 2 people, you will be fighting the boss at an HP and damage scaling that is attuned to what would be if you had 3 people. So if that sounds unbearable for you, stick to solo. I did a lot of these on solo. Not because I couldn't do trios, but because, I only have one other person I play with who actually levels up and is at the same level as me. And, progression-wise, they do things. So, sometimes you don't always have enough people to play a game like this. Maybe you might want to recruit and play recruiting. Not play recruiting, but, in the social stuff, in Discords, forums, whatever. You could do all that. Find people. It's better to play with trios than it is to do solo simply because of the boredom factor. Also, there's the borrow function, which is available for stages that, like the normal and hard stages. So if you want to, just use this to borrow someone else's overpowered hero or something like that, right? Which might be stronger than yours at the time. May or may not be. It more than likely is, right? And definitely capable of doing these levels, then you can. Although I wouldn't suggest it, I would say play with what you have and get used to playing what you have. Not because of pride or anything, but because when you fight these bosses, it's not really about beating them in the long run. You want to get used to fighting them. You want to get used to their movesets, because everything after this, once you clear these on Night Scream and clear these on Night Scream, everything about this is going to be important. Did you remember those attack patterns? Are you accustomed to dealing with them? Can you handle those attack patterns? Because every other mode you go to, tempered, nearity runs, or ruins, sorry, Yama Abyss, domain, like Doom domain, like this stuff. Once you start unlocking this, that's all you're going to be fighting is all the bosses from these 2 stages or realms, or whatever you call these. Yeah, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. But yeah, so it's not important that you just treat it like, oh, I gotta study up on these bosses and learn how their attack patterns. But pay attention when you're running through Night Scream levels, hard levels, normal. Pay attention to the movesets, because once you start getting to all these other game modes, the game really expects you to know your shit. A lot of people quit Showdown because they don't expect a difficulty spike, and a difficulty spike isn't really that big of a deal if you learn the boss fights. Learn when their attack patterns do this and this and that and the third. Then when they get scaled up to higher competency levels, and when you're way stronger, when you have builds put together, when you start being able to do that, they're scaled to those sorts of situations. And if you're not there, well, you might get your shit fucked up in like 2 hits, and you're like, damn, what? That's not fair. Yeah, well, you weren't strong enough. That's literally it. You were not strong enough at all. That's just it. And also, you probably didn't know the attack patterns, so you made several mistakes, got punished by the boss because you didn't know their attack pattern very well. You randomly pressed attack when you should have defused or parried or whatever, and you died. That's how it goes. The game is essentially saying, hey, did you learn how to fight this boss? No, you didn't. Well, then when it's scaled up to a higher difficulty level or whatever the fuck, you're gonna get shit on. And that's unfortunate, but that's what this game mode's about. You have time. It is not something you have to speed run through. Like, for example, I've been playing this game mode myself since I came back to this game for about 4 weeks. And so my progression is 4 weeks in, did I only make it this far, right? So let it be known that this is not a fast thing. You're not going to sit here and make a shit ton of progress in one day. Early on you will, but at some point it tapers off. You gotta, you just get your reps in, get off, go play other game modes. Nothing crazy, you dip in, dip out. That's the idea. Don't let this game mode consume you, because there's no way to speed run it. Even if you were a big money guy and said, fuck it, I'll just buy my way through. You kind of can't, because even if you go to here, the Showdown shop, which make sure you do utilize this, especially early on when you're doing your main quest stuff, you're going to get a lot of Showdown currency. Utilize this, and I would suggest getting these until your main character that you play with is maxed out to 20. You can start doing breakthroughs, which main quest is going to help you understand that too. So don't worry about it. It's fine. Just follow the main quest. It has you covered for a lot of those things, as long as you pay attention to it as you do it. You're not just mindlessly going to the next thing. Read them, comprehend what they want you to do and why, and then you get the resources and you're like, oh, cool, I can upgrade this, blah, 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 right? And yeah, it's stuff like this. Once you start to play more, you'll start to understand what all this is. Some of this is just cosmetics and weapon skins. Stuff like this, though, these affect your runs. This affects, that gives you soul jades. This is for upgrading, which I already showed off. So yeah, it's important. It's important that you pay attention to these sort of things. Otherwise, you will be confused. Nothing will make sense. And everything will just be like, well, what the fuck is this? And then everything is going to be not worth doing because it's too confusing. So cut out the confusion. Read things as they come, as you unlock them. So that way you don't end up blowing your brains out. All right, next section. Let me name that. Let me name that clip. One thing that's probably going to stand out when you first start is your Showdown level. You'll see this pop up a lot, regardless of what that level is. This is important because, as you can see here, bro, get off the screen. Not the right timing. This is important because, as you can see here, your Showdown level, if you look down at the bottom there, it says health, armor, attack. It determines how much stronger you actually are based on that level. So that's something you'll end up grinding because you kind of have to. Well, have to is a strong word. If you're really good, you don't really need to be that much higher level, but it caps out at 100. It's not that hard to level up. It seems like it's a lot, but trust and believe. You follow the main quest, it's gonna get you right. And then the weekly quest, you do these, man, it's gonna get you right as well, right? But make sure you follow the main quest first, because some of these weekly quests you actually won't be able to do unless you clear specific things that the main quest wants you to do, because you won't have, like, for example, Enigma Domain. You will not be able to do that at all until you do a certain amount of things within your main quest, which involves both Morris Isle and Holorath. So I say that right? I'm pretty sure that's how you say that. And yeah, so that's gonna be that as far as the progression on that. You get levels from completing, get XP from completing levels and stages and whatnot, blah blah blah. You will get XP no matter whether you lose or win. You obviously get more if you win, but you know. In some game modes, for example, I'm gonna put you on game real quick. In some game modes like Tempered Inferno, Nearity, and yeah, just those really, which they have options in there. Those game modes, if you can do those even remotely, if you can get halfway through, you get a pretty decent chunk of XP and whatever other resources that they give. So another way to level up would be through the season stuff. This also gives you stat bonuses and things that matter because, you know, you get stuff like this, plus attack 10, HP 100, right? I'm working my way through the rest of these. It's a lot. Don't rush it. Don't see this and be like, dang, I got it. You don't got it. I promise it. Mainly just stick to doing the default ones. Clear these. They benefit you greatly because, you know, following these are essentially benchmarks of progress. If you can do these, you can make a significant amount of progress. They're going to be something you end up following mostly after you finish your main quest. You do your main quest and it's like, boom, okay, now I'm going to start looking at these as a tracking of my progression and how I should go about that. Weekly quests just keep you up on resources and things like that. And another weekly quest to look out for, because it actually matters a lot. It's one of the most important weekly quests. Let me find it here. Here it is. This weekly quest, it comes every week. Complete any 10 showdown levels. That's any level. That means you can go back and complete level 1 or the level 1 chapter 1 boss if you know you can like quickly kill it over and over 10 times if that's what it takes to get this done. And the reason why you want to do this every week, this is the only thing that's going to be the thing that you gotta come back to do, because you get these breakthrough auras from here. There's only the other time you're gonna get breakthrough auras is from your main quest and special seasonal like unique things, which once you complete those, they're gone forever. So yeah, this is the only real, true, reliable, repeatable way to get breakthrough aura. Now, what are breakthrough auras? I said I was going to touch on this, and now I will. So let's take, for example, my Justina, who is... I didn't click on it. I'm a goofball. My Justina, who is level 20. So let's say I wanted to break through past level 20. You can't without breakthrough auras. You need one to break through. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, so does that mean I need to get 4 or 5 total to break through a character? Wrong. I'm also going to put you on game because this shit is misleading, because you get up to 4 breakthrough auras, getting level 24, nothing crazy, right? You pull that off, and then after that, you get to get that level 25, you're going to need 2 breakthrough auras. So really, you're going to need 6 total breakthrough auras to actually max out a character, which is at level 25. And it does help. Now, don't get me wrong, these levels aren't pivotal for your character. They're not gonna like make or break everything. Getting them to level 20 is perfectly suitable, honestly. But it does help to have your weapons transition from epic to legendary by going up which is at level 23. You get armor, legendary armor at level 24. Now, is that worth it? In my experience, no. The person I play with, they got their character to level 24. They're still hard stuck at that because, you know, they got to wait 2 weeks to get the other Sojade or the other breakthrough aura thingies. So in that case, legendary armor is not much better than regular armor if we're talking about actual defensive stats. But if we're talking about offense, you know, you can see the difference. 610. Let's take a look at my other offensive character. Where is it? Oh. Right, I changed her build, so she's slightly weaker, but usually it's around like 500 something. So I mean, it's really like a significant difference in actual like raw stat damage. Does this translate into insane, crazy hyper damage comparatively? No, not at all. It is a minor increase, and it helps if you have a bunch of crazy percentages that, you know, help build your shit up. Like in this case, I have a lot of bonus damage that's increasing my attack power. So it's not like 100 increase overall. More like, think about like maybe 40, 20. I never did the math. I never actually did the math. Like if I put maybe I should put it on the same build for the characters to find out. But that doesn't matter. This is a general guide. None of that shit that's hyper specific shit. It doesn't matter as much. Now, moving onwards, when you're finally getting through the things, note that the battle pass, this actual like battle pass for the showdown specifically, it's not going to help you that much. If you are newer to the game, yes, it's going to help you a lot. But otherwise, it's not going to help you that much, and that's just a fact. Now, there are certain soul jades, or certain ways to acquire soul jades that require you to also have beaten these levels, like Night Scream, and the Holoroth, Night Scream levels and stuff, because there's certain items you can get that will offer you a random selection of soul jades based on what levels you have beaten. So if you don't go out of your way, I mean this, if you don't go out of your way, at least clear these one time, all of these, at least up to Night Scream, or up to Night Scream is where it stops. One time, whether it be with a friend, solo, it doesn't matter. You will have a worse time when you acquire a whole lot of, let me show you. You get a lot of these. Where is it? Yeah, a lot of these. Now, this one's different. This one comes from the Battle Pass, so it lets you get any soul jade from any level without clearance required. That's different, but if you don't want to buy this, you'll get the other versions, which give you the ones based on levels you have already completed in your random selection pool. So that's important because you'll get a lot of those through your main quest. So you'll want to make sure you clear out levels so that way your main quest, your weekly quest, when you get those, because you get it from here too, get a weekly gift, randomly get a legendary, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be scaled based on what you already have completed, what you've done. Otherwise, you won't get things from things you haven't done. So, haven't completed. At least complete the level, not actually obtain. You don't have to obtain every soul jade for these to be valuable. You just have to complete the level that soul jade can come from. So that's a really important detail. I really hope people aren't skipping through this aggressively. You're going to miss out on that. A lot of tidbits and information here that will have you confuzzled if you skipped. I'm sorry that I'm talking so long-winded, but trust me, it's better that I do because there's no short-term way to put this. I'm sorry. Now, moving on to the very last thing that I think matters. Let me title this clip. Title this one Naraka Bladepoint. This one's gonna be Showdown level. Okay, now the last one is gonna be centered around something. It's gonna be a curveball. It's gonna be a curveball because it's actually not gonna matter as much. I'm gonna talk about the shop, or more specifically, I'm gonna talk about whatchamacallit. Where is it? Which one was it? No, that's not what I was looking for. No, that's not it. What was I gonna talk about? I just had a brain freeze. The last thing I want to hit on in this video that I'm making. So was it the no? Do I want to talk about ranks? I think I want to talk about ranks. I think that's what I'll do. That's what I do. Okay. All right. The last thing I want to actually hit on is gonna be something more along the lines of rein in your damn pride. Like, if you're one of those people who see the idea of rank and you're like, oh, there's a rank for the mode, there's a rank leaderboard for this, blah 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 blah. Rein it in. Calm down. Yes, it would be nice to have your name here, like mine's. Yeah, look, that's nice. But I've been working at this. I earned this not because I was chasing ranked. I earned this because I just happened to be playing the game and consistently making some kind of progress, right? So it's very important that you don't get too locked in on rank and the vanity of it all. I know, crazy. Why would this be in the general guide? The reason is it's a warning because that's how you get burnt out on this game mode. A lot of people think they're just going to come in and they're going to fuck some shit up. You're not. You're not going to come in and fuck some shit up. It's not happening. I promise you're not. I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm not trying to say you suck. I'm trying to say this game mode is accumulative over time. I barely got into, like, this is a character I made the most, Faria Shin, for example. I barely got myself into trios. I barely got myself into solos ranked. And it's simply because I put the time in and I really pushed myself, right? But I had to push myself a lot. I was enjoying myself, so it didn't hurt to do it. It wasn't like a chore, but don't, because I pretty much burnt out on this game for a little bit of time because of how hard I pushed myself. And it wasn't because I was chasing rank. I was just enjoying the game. You know, it's a fun game. Like, you get locked into this shit and it's hard to quit. But another issue that is not going to be understood immediately if you do end up trying to chase rank positions is that these players, the only reason they have higher positions is for one reason and one reason only. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to bust the secret wide open. Check this out. It's because they have more time on this damn game. They've been playing since forever ago. They have accumulative power from multiple seasons. That's a little hidden secret that doesn't really need to be brought up for a lot of new players, and it never will need to be brought up because you probably won't take this seriously. But for those who do, and you're actually heeding this warning, you didn't skip through the video. If you did, fuck you. I'm saying that because they're not gonna hear this part. Fuck them, they skipped anyway. But if you're heeding the warning and you're trying to chase ranks, stop. You cannot surpass these motherfuckers, the ones who have top spots. I think the fact that I even have top 5 or top 10 in solo is because it's only like, realistically, if you look at the difference between this guy's Paragon 5, I'm Paragon 5. Then you have the Paragon 9 motherfuckers. Look at the cliff. Look at that cliff. That's a sharp cliff. And then you go to solo, right? I'm at Paragon 9 on solo. And then you see a massive divide. 11, 12, 12, 12, 12, 13, 14. Look, the scaling on these, on which, if you're wondering how you climb that, it's going to be Yama Abyss, right? But the scaling on that, on these levels, on these stage changes, at some point just becomes a matter of how much of a perfect player are you? And can you handle a situation where you're expected to be hyper efficient and play perfectly? If you can't do that, and also you don't have stats from prior seasons that buff your shit to a crazy degree, and they have old Soul Jade resources and things that allow them to have way, way better Soul Jades than anything I could put together. And you as well. That's just how it is. Let's take a look at this guy's Soul Jades, right? You got Toxic Lotus, Gas Bloom, right? It's nothing I don't have, right? But there's a difference here. You see these red numbers, and you see how high the numbers on his Soul Jades are, like 30%, 50%, windfall. Like, how do you get those? Through time, effort, money, not money, but kind of money. I'll explain in a little bit. And efficiency. And also they have extreme curios and stuff from older seasons because they've been around since long ago. So they have these things. So they're inherently just stronger players. And they always will be stronger players. That's unfortunately how it is. They win because of legacy. They're there because they've been here. They sat with this game mode for all this time. Now I'm going to show you what I mean when I said money. Because if you buy the Game Pass, for example, every season, they probably buy this $10 Game Pass every season, realistically, because that's how they get things like Legend Jades much more easily than other players. Because in order to get Legend Jades, I only have gotten like one Legend Jade ever in my entire time playing this game, this game mode, really. And that's actually with me trying to acquire them because they're needed to get these red stats. These red stats you see right here, they make a massive difference in how you play, how you build. They help alter things. Like, for example, moderation. I said this earlier in the video. It gives you 25% cooldown when you trigger your elemental effects. And then you got windfall. I don't even know what that does, but everybody has it on everything. It's all windfall, moderation, windfall, moderation. Like it. I don't know what windfall does. I don't remember. It's somewhere you can find it, but I don't care. Point is, they have all this shit. They have all this legacy progress that makes their Soul Jades and everything that they have really, really strong. They're way more powerful than I could ever be, and that's just how it is. And they have years of progression on me, and definitely on you watching this video. So humble yourself when you come to this game mode. You might be doing really good. You might get in your head thinking, I'm making hella progress. I'm learning these bosses. I got this shit. You're not gonna get past them though, because they have more time practicing against the same bosses you've been fighting, I've been fighting, so they have more flawless execution than we can imagine. I would love to see what these guys' gameplay look like compared to mine, right? And then they also have, you look at the time clearance. That's an important factor here. That time clearance is feature defining. We're talking about people who clear higher game modes, like higher tier levels and whatever, right? Higher stages at a time faster than I can clear the stage. A lower end stage. I got 7 minutes on mine. This motherfucker has 1 minute and 6 seconds on Paragon 14, which I can't imagine how much harder that shit is. Because these levels, each one goes up, it's ridiculous. So, in regards of rank climbing, I'm gonna say it again for the last time. Humble yourself. Do not climb this shit thinking, oh, I got this position. I know I'm never passing these guys because I'm never going to put as much time in as they have. I'm never going to be able to get as much time as they have because they have years on me. They have years of progress and stuff. And the know-how and understanding of these boss fights that, they deal with these things better than I do. That's as simple as it comes, So don't beat yourself over the head about it. And I mean, the best you could do if you want to climb these ranks is probably find some carries. Maybe you have resources. Maybe you know somebody who can carry you through trios to get yourself a ranked position. Maybe. But as far as my position, I did not get carried. I had to earn this. And you can see the gap between me and everybody else. I mean, look at this guy, for example. Even this guy, for example. The difference in time between me and him on the same Paragon, ridiculous. I could never match that time. And he can't match up to people who are doing Paragon 9. And this person is struggling at 5 minutes. Not struggling, but they're clearing it at 5 minutes. Look at the time differences between these guys. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, right? At that point, and then there's just higher tiers. So at that point, just stop. Don't be crazy. Now, that is going to be the end of the video, actually, because, of course, what else is it going to be? Okay, goodbye. No, okay, it's not going to be... I changed my mind. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to cut that portion. Yeah, I'm going to cut that portion out of the stream. I mean, not the stream, the video. The clip I just made. All right. Okay. So now I want to edit that one real quick. That very last one. Okay. That's pretty much all the clip parts done. Now I actually gotta edit these. But for real. Bullshit. Pull that up on screen so I can get these in here. There we go. Which one was the last one? Which one was it? There it is. There it is. This one. Just had a different mark. I was gonna edit this actually. No, I changed my mind. Because I still have to do the outro. I gotta change this one though. because no matter what, I shouldn't have like even done outro in that portion. So let me re-record that real quick. Go like this, go here, and then all right, so that is gonna be the end of the guide, general guide, whatever. If this was helpful, I don't know, tell me in the comment section or not. Don't tell me, I really don't care. I just wanted to do this because there's just a lot of confusion, there's a lot of unanswered questions. So yeah, there it is. Like, subscribe, hype it up. Bye bye. All right. Now I gotta pull that in. Now, how long is this? 20 seconds. Not bad. It's perfect, actually. Perfect distance. Perfect length. So let's just start it with this intro. Here it is. Oh, wait, wrong one. That's not the intro. This is the intro. No, it's not the intro. I don't remember which one was the intro. Why can't I find it? What? Oh, it was this one. I was staring at it. I kept telling myself that's not the one. That's the intro. Okay. Gonna have to fade in on that. Make sure I named it. Okay. I don't really have to do much editing for this one. I'm really just gonna add background music. Like, there's not many edits I need to make for this particular video, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, yeah. Okay. Let me order this, and next is going to be all right. Here we go. Associate. No, where is it? Here it is. Associates. Okay. For this one, I will add a transition. Let's see. There you go. Do something like this. Okay, there we go. And then what was it? It was Curious. I did next. Let's see this one, and then I think I want to raise the volume on these. Let's see. I think I'll do 120 on all of these. 120% extra value on all of these. There we go. Yeah, last stage is going to be potential. Then I put this here. Hey, back. Hey, okay. So here. Okay. What do I want to do for a transition here? I think I had a transition. There we go. That works. And then with this one. This is longer than I thought it would be. All right, then after that, I went towards levels. I say all right a lot. I didn't like that. I don't like that. But I already record the clips. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Okay, next is gonna be this one and this one. Okay, let me make sure see, set that to 120. Did I do that one as well? Yeah, I did. All right. Up. back to it. Okay. Let's see. What did I put at the end of this? Yeah, it was this one. Okay. I need to cut this out. Okay, cut that shit out. And then there we go. I'm gonna fade out. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna... Alright, very simple edits here. Hold on. Wait, did I change the... I didn't. Now let me see, do I want to do any like edits or text on screen, anything like that? Alright, I think that's fine. I think I'll just put in the description that I go into detail. I have to make sure I remember the timestamps as well. So let's see. Timestamps, because that way I can put them in the video. Put this shit up. Good note. Oh, can you open it? There we go. Notepad. Alright. So, where's this? This is at 3:47? No, I guess I'll make it 3:46. That way, it's time for it to actually properly transition. Okay, or 5? Yeah. Okay. Guess that's my next big improvement I want to work on. Soul Jade. I mean, time stamping shit. Especially for a longer video, time stamping is going to be important. So this one's going to be at... let's start right there. And what's that? That is 12:46. So 12:46 is gonna be where I want that time stamp to be. This is the Curios. Okay. And then around here, what is this? So it is 20:43. 3 is going to be for the whatchamacallit potentials. I spelled that wrong. Yeah, I accidentally added an I there. That's my bad. I mean, does it matter? No. I was just typing that in a hurry. That's all it is. Anyway, there we go. Okay. Let's see. All right. Next up, timestamp for here. 2702. Blah blah. This one is for stages, bosses. There we go. And okay, in this section. Okay, you got Showdown level. Yeah, okay. This is gonna be, where's that at? 3520. Okay. Damn, it's gonna be a long ass video. It'll take a while to render. I probably won't render it all the way on stream. This is gonna take like fucking an hour. What am I gonna do? Play a video game while I wait for it to render? Maybe. Yeah. Or I just not do that. But anyway, the whole point of this is the process is shown. It's just behind the scenes, whatever, man. Okay, and then it's gonna be what is it again? Too busy yapping. Okay. It's right here for me. And there's possibility. Alright. So 4401. Warning. There we go. Yeah. So what I'll do. All right. There we go. I don't think I need to add a timestamp for the outro. I mean, just an outro. Right. That, and then there you go, like that. All right, I never added a transition. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I swear I cut that out. What the fuck? Okay. There we go. There we go. close can I get without it clicking? Alright. That's everything as far as, yeah, that's it. Now I gotta make a thumbnail. I'm gonna start, rendering. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Gotta start rendering. It's gonna take a while. Can already tell. Wait, what? Oh no, I left those spaces like that on purpose. Continue anyway. Fuck you. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and click in. Okay, all right. Render that shit. It's not gonna be. That's not that bad. I mean, it's faster than I thought it would take to render it. But now I gotta make a thumbnail. So I think here's what I'm gonna do for a thumbnail. Yeah, that's what I'll do for a thumbnail. I'll just see. I'll go here. There's no more way to make it look good though. Is there a way to turn the HUD off? I don't think so. I don't think so. I know what I can do. Hold on. Go here. I think it is right. Yeah. Like this. Yeah, I'll take the thumbnail like this, and I'll do it over here. Here, you know, mostly blank background. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. No, how do I want to do this? Like this? Yeah, because I can just take the whatchamacallits out. It's stupid. Let's see, something like this. There we go. I think that works. I think that works for a thumbnail. I'll use that. Okay, and then I gotta go here and drag and drop this and okay. There we go. Transition, scale that down. Boom. All right. Maybe I should do it in the air. You know, let me try that. But that sucks because I ended up I know what I can do. All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to just do it like a 360, I guess. Dang it. It's not as good then. It's too much water. Yeah, okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I don't know about that one. I moved too quick anyway, so it's hard to... Maybe I can catch it like this. No, that looks stupid too. No. No. That's not as good. Hold on. I know what I'll do. I'll do that. I'll do that, but I'll angle the camera downwards for the thumbnail. That way I can see more of the face. It's like I want to get the eye. I missed the branch. Ugh. Skillless you. There we go. Oh, I forgot to press save. Fuck. Now I'm just stupid. Now I gotta do it again. Oh. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Okay. That tree's ugly as fuck. I'm keeping it. I like that, actually. I like that it's ugly as fuck. It works. Okay, that being said, I'm gonna pop over here. Yeah, and do that. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I changed my mind. That one instead. No, actually. Let me try something. Because if I drag the camera too fast, it becomes blurry. I don't know about that one. What if I did like this? I know I said I was happy with the thumbnail, but no, that one looks stupid. I don't get much of the face either if I do it like that. Hey, wait, stop. Climb up. No. Actually, wait. This one has a longer fall to it. If I do this, I might be able to get a better falling thumbnail. Hold on. That actually might be... That's the best one. That's it right there. I like that one the most. Alright, there we go. Yep, I'm gonna use that thumbnail. Or I'm gonna use that screenshot as the thumbnail. That's the one. That'd be the one. Best I could do. Oh well. Ugh. This one right here, dragging down that one, I'm gonna scale that one. Actually, instead of doing it like that, here's what I'll do. Oops. So. Let's see. Let me try that. Let me see. How do I feel about that? Ooh. Video. What? I like that. I like that. As a thumbnail, I think that might function the best. All right, let's dress this shit. Let's dress this shit up. Some progress on the rendering. Oh shit, it's almost done. I thought that would take like way longer. For a 52-minute video. Not bad. Not bad at all. I actually don't want to cut it down. I like how much detail I did go into. Because when I cut shit, people always end up asking questions. I'm like, oh, I thought that was self-explanatory. I thought I could cut that out. Turns out sometimes you just can't. Yeah. If there's gonna be a guide, it should be feature complete, especially if it's general. It's only 7 gigabytes for that long of a video? I mean, that's still a lot of gigs for one video, but damn. Nice. Let me take this, and here. Okay, before I finish the thumbnail, I gotta make sure I upload this. Or at least start uploading it, that way I can, in a timely manner, put the, in there. There we go. Get that going. Oh. January. There we go, and then let me make sure I use details from. All right, and get that, and then together goes reuse those. Okay, and then I'm gonna. There we go. Okay. There we go. Get that, and then okay. There we go. So that's that. Okay. Now let's get back to editing this thumbnail. Okay. Drop this in there. I'm not gonna do anything fancy with it. Just keep it simple. Simple and plain. Okay. I'll keep it simple. I'm not gonna overdo the thumbnail. Something simple, something plain, right? Where is it? that's not the one. Vengeance? No. Too close together. Should I just use Excelsior? Yeah, I'll just use Excelsior and like enlarge it. D. Okay, then I'll do this, and then I'm gonna do this. Oh wait, I can't do that, right? Instead, I'll do this. Okay, great. Now we have an understanding of what I'm doing. Boom, boom. Okay, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna go here. Actually, hold on. Before I do that, let me change the text color. There we go. Okay. Oops. Skid it again. There we go. Okay, and with this one, I'm gonna hit it with a quick sharpen. Never mind, not gonna use sharpen. Here's what I'll do instead, and just do a wow. No, it's not exactly what I'm looking for here. Oops. This one, alpha selection on that, filter. I think I need to fade that out so it doesn't fucking consume everything. Okay. There we go. Okay, now with that still alpha, I'm going to then, let's see, what am I going to do with this? I want to lower the brightness. Kind of. Just a bit. Sharp, I'll do a sharpen. Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. What? Wait, did I sharpen all of them on accident? No, I didn't. Alright, there we go. And then selection. That looks really nice. I think that's fine. I don't need to go too crazy on the thumbnail. keep it simple, keep it plain. Just name this. Let's see. Okay. A lot of clarity on this one. Okay. Actually, I forgot to do this. That's important. It's important that I do that. And this is, make sure the scaling is correct. No bullshit. Yep. All right. Go. Now I got to get that. Okay, there we go. But that. Go. And then is, let's see, still only 56% to upload completion, so I can't add all the extra shit I need to do, but in general, that is completed. Unless something stupid happens. I doubt it. Okay, and then go here. Okay. How long is that going to take to upload? Let me check. Let me make sure. Oops. I should have known that would happen. Me should have known. There's no way I broke it, right? That happens? Oh, that sucks ass. I had to start from scratch on the upload. Fuck. Oh, that hurts my feelings. It's fine though. Oh, I gotta do all that again. No. That's so annoying. At least I can reuse the details for setting it up. Still gotta re-upload the thumbnail though. There we go. Put that up. Okay. So that's gonna take another fucking 30 minutes to re-upload that portion, but I didn't know that would bug it out. There we go. Alright, now, if I had more time on my hands, I would probably just, well, I do have time, but, you know, I don't feel like, I was gonna say I'll do some gameplay until I get the stream, until it's uploaded, but I think I'll call it. That's the end of the stream. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, like, subscribe, whatever, blah 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 blah. Okay, goodbye.